Hey everyone, blessings and healing to everyone that is watching. Welcome back to another episode of Astro Chat with your boy Cardinal Guzzi. Today we're going to get into moon cycles, specifically the Capricorn moon that was in June 28th of this year, and then for the one that's coming up right after, the Cancer new moon on the 12th or the 13th, depending on where you are. So just a quick note. What to remember about the moon. The moon controls instincts, controls, our emotions. It just, is the spiritual light of the universe, just as like a backdrop of how the moon kind of works. So, the Capricorn full moon, what's that about? Well, Capricorn being the cardinal energy that it is, cardinal energies are typically very initiative, like, if you want to go on an adventure, get a cardinal sign. If you want to get something going, get a cardinal sign. They're very ambitious creatures. So we have that in the energy of Capricorn, which is that plus the Capricorn instincts, which are being very structured, being very strict, being very kind of heartless. Like, they're not heartless, but they can be perceived as such because they're usually very serious creatures. So what does that mean for the full moon? Well, once you mix those energies together, the full moon can definitely teach us some things. So with the full moon being in Capricorn, it'll teach us kind of how to be more strict with ourselves in relation to responsibility. Because it's an earth sign, it'll kind of highlight those areas that are material based. So if you need to restructure your household, whether it be feng shui wise or just like your general routine in your house, that will go through a restructuring period. Whether you need to restructure your finances, where you're like, oh, I can make a little bit of money here, make some money there. It's just a period of kind of getting some new clarity on some old things. I think one of the biggest energies it brought was understanding how to let go of things that no longer serve you. Understanding how to get yourself out of those positions or around those people that are just not good for your overall, greatest and highest good, if you will. If those people or situations are currently still in your life, use this Capricorn energy to just like bye, because that's kind of how they are. They're very like, emotionally distant in a way, and I think the full moon will kind of, exalt that in all of us as well, where it kind of takes us away from our emotions so we can kind of focus on what needs to be cluttered, like what needs to be taken out of the clutter. So while we're emotionally distant, we're kind of, analyzing situations on how to be better, how to be on top, how to be great, how do I become the boss that I want to be in my head. This is the energy that is kind of surrounding the Capricorn moon. Overall, I think this energy will kind of help us, rule our emotions and not have our emotions rule us. And I'll touch on later why that's important for right now. But before, I just want to give 3 quick, about how this energy is going to go. So, I did write these 3 down because it's very specific and I wanted to remember. The Capricorn new moon will the Capricorn full moon will establish discipline that supports long-term goals, new approaches to things that will free us from control, and it'll help us celebrate our success. I think those are the 3 main energies that this full moon, kind of shed light on for everyone. Fast forward to the moon coming right after, which is the new moon in Cancer. So I believe it'll be in 20 degrees Cancer. I'm not sure about that right now, but I think the new moon will be in the sign of Cancer. And what is very interesting about this whole dynamic is Capricorn and Cancer are natural opposites, like similar to Taurus and Sag and Aries and Libra. So while Capricorn full moon happened and is happening, Cancer sun was right there. So we had the moon opposing the sun, which is a very interesting kind of structure because it kind of forced us to kind of balance both our emotions and material world. So fast forward to July 12th or 13th, I think that message is going to be heightened a little bit because now we have Cancer still like Sun in Cancer still, and then now the new moon is also in Cancer. So if you have not cried, this will probably be the time that you start crying, because I mean, you know, no shade to Cancers at all, but they're very emotional creatures, and it's not because of any sign of weakness at all. In my opinion, they're the strongest water sign, but I think it comes from being so nurturing and so instinctual that you can kind of pick up on other people's emotions, and if you're trying to nurture them and they're kind of rejecting it, like, again, there's plenty of reasons why Cancer cries. But for all of us, I think the moon being in Cancer and the sun being in Cancer will kind of just, you know, like all of that, like, it'll bring us some balance between our spiritual and our personal lives. So with the new moon being in Cancer, that is going to help us kind of bring it back to self. So in the Capricorn, we were kind of like, all right, I'm not going to be emotional because I have to focus on this, this, and this, and this because I'm trying to get to my goal. Whereas the Cancer new moon, will kind of bring that energy back. Like, all right, now that you put in the material work, how are you feeling? How are you emotionally? How are you mentally? Did you go to the spa today? Are you taking care of your body? Are you eating right? Like, the self-nurturing is going to come with this new moon energy. So definitely, you know, take the time to go for that extra run. Take the time to see your physician. Take the time to, you know, maybe do a juice cleanse. Like, do whatever you need to do so you can have a balanced energy, because I think the Capricorn energy was kind of helping us refocus our outside world, and now the Cancer new moon is helping us with our internal selves. Cancer is also a cardinal sign, so we have two cardinal energies working back to back with each other, and then we have the sun and the moon in a cardinal sign. So there's gonna be a lot of energy exploding kind of everywhere. And I'm not going to get into like the other aspects right now, like, you know, Venus being in Leo, about to transition into Virgo. I'm not going to really talk about Uranus in Taurus, or I'm not going to talk about like Jupiter getting out of retrograde in Scorpio. Like, this is a beginner's course, so we're just going to focus on the moon right now. But if you would like more information regarding those three, you know, trines, like whether it be Venus, Jupiter, or whatever else I mentioned, hit me up, let me know, leave a comment, whatever you want to call it. I got you. But yeah, so just as far as the Cancer new moon, I think, excuse me, I think it'll bring a lot of self-motivation, a lot of self-nurturing. It'll really help us with our inner selves. And I think it'll be interesting because the emotional and the spiritual will start developing. The only concern I really have about this is that I think the shadow self will start to make an appearance a little bit more in your life. What is the shadow self? The shadow self is that part of you that has been suppressed and hidden in your personality. Like, it's there, but it's just not active, it's not dormant. Even if you have one that's active and dormant, there's a part of it that you don't even, you know what I mean, know about. And I think this time is going to help us kind of sit down and analyze it, because we're going to be doing a lot of internal work subconsciously. So I think, you know, we're going to start probably talking to our shadow selves about if we can help it or heal it or just get rid of it at all, or do we need to release it. Like, we're going to start having these internal conversations to kind of navigate where the shadow energy is about to go, because we all have a shadow self. I don't care if you're the most holiest person ever, there's a part of you that is not holy. So it's just a matter of how you've dealt with it and how you've conditioned it over the years to keep the balance or keep the control over it. So I think now is the perfect time where I think people are going to start diving back into that, because if you don't, your shadow self will probably jump out. Like, if there's any time to do that, now is the time that a shadow would jump